out, you know what just happened? I had an amazing interview, and it was actually with my favorite content creator ever. Ben is probably the guy who makes me laugh most, and he didn't even know about it. Sorry, Jacques. Maybe one day it will be you. And it was amazing, you know, amazing. It was amazing. He's always so jealous. But Jacques, you also make me laugh a lot. I was so excited, and I lost myself so much in introducing insanity and talking to my favorite creator that I just forgot to record the intro. But never mind. I hope you enjoy this interview as much as I did. Let's just jump right into it.
Or was extremely hard to gain a following on YouTube. Not so much anymore. But so, I mean, I guess I kind of just fit into the algorithm in the right way and kind of, I mean, in general, I'm just a positive, happy, laughy person, if you will. I mean, I'm laughing literally 70% of the time. So that's just like who I am. So it wasn't like I had to change who I was to make content. I just put out what I would put out, and it ended up working.
You know what I find remarkable is that I always watched your content, and I was so happy, like with the jokes and your attitude. You even make me laugh just because you laugh. I guess you hear that a lot.
Probably. I mean, I've heard it sometimes.
When I discovered your channel, I, for example, was in a sad situation. I was just watching these videos, and they made me laugh, and it was such a great impact. It was an impact on my life without that you know me. And I guess it happens a lot. Like you have a lot of people who are watching that, and some of them are fine, some of them are not.
Oh, for sure.
Then we watch something like that, and it just makes us feel good. So it's just content that makes us feel good. And you have no clue about that.
Yeah. It's hard to not have it get lost on me sometimes. You know what I mean? Because I get a lot of messages from people being like, yeah, I went through a breakup, or my mom died. Me and my sister got in a fight, whatever it is, any type of hardship someone might go through, and they're like, but I watch your videos, and it puts a smile on my face, and I feel better. And it's so awesome to be able to put out content that puts people in a good mood. But it's crazy because it is odd that the person who's making the content doesn't always know that. You know what I mean? It's like I can go and I can read these messages, but I'm not the one who's watching the content necessarily. You know what I mean? Like I'm not watching myself laugh at memes to feel better. I edit all the videos, and usually there's a smile on my face when I'm doing so. But
I just wanted to ask.
No, for sure. But so it's so cool to hear that, though, because like every time I get a message or a comment and someone says, hey, I am going through something, and you really cheer me up. That is truly the main reason why I continued to do this instead of just stopping. Because anyone who creates content can just stop if they don't want to make it anymore,
Sure. But it's interesting because it was not your primary reason, right? So it was not like you thought, I want to do comedy just to make people smile. You wanted to create content.
Right.
Per se.
Well, I always knew in the back of my mind that I would probably do comedy content or music. One of the two, those are like my two favorite genres of content creation. So I had toyed with the idea of comedy, but I made music for so many years that was just my main goal, my line of sight, point of focus, or whatever. And this kind of just worked, and I kind of just ran with it, to be honest with you. Like when I first took off and went viral, I was like, well, that's cool, because it's cool to get 1 million views on TikTok and gain thousands of followers overnight and whatnot. But going from that to actually being like a full-time content creator who's got a large fan base on multiple platforms, that's just like a totally different thing. I mean, this has even gone way further than I ever thought it would. I thought I would have a following for a couple months, kind of just ride the wave, let the trend die out, and go on. But I mean, here I am, and it's been almost 3 years that I've been putting out. It's great. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, it's true. Oh my God. Yeah, now I think about it. True. I discovered you in 2000. 20 or between 20 and 21, somewhere there.
Yeah, it was like middle to late 2020 that I
Yeah.
initially kind of started gaining momentum, if you will.
Yeah, I love that. And the feeling that I get is that you kind of don't take yourself too seriously. I mean, you're laughing in front of the cam. It's not polished. It's nothing. It feels real.
Yeah, it's very organic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for me, a big reason why I do laugh a lot. I mean, it's not even just because I get a lot of comments from people being like, "Oh, stop laughing! You laugh at everything," and but that's
Ah,
just that. That's internet stuff. But
yeah.
every job I've had, every coworker, friend, girlfriend, anyone who I've been involved with has always like known me to be that way. Like you could dig up anyone from my past and they would confirm that, yeah, Ben
Amazing.
laughs all the time. But going back to what you said, not taking myself seriously in general, I just think that life is too short to just take things serious. And I
Yeah.
mean, obviously there's, times where life needs to be taken seriously, but for the most part, people tend to take life way too seriously. And I mean, what you see when you watch a movie, those are actors. When you watch one of my videos, that is exactly how I am. There's no acting, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
It's all very raw and uncut. So, yeah, I'm sure that had probably something to do with the success that I've had. Is just not really faking anything,
Yeah.
not pretending to be someone I'm not.
It really speaks from your heart, right? And
Yeah,
we're changing so much. When I think about what I thought is funny when I was 5 or 10 years old and what I think is funny right now, it changed because I completely changed. I think with humor, like with comedy, it's so easy to understand that because you can literally laugh about everything, including yourself.
right, right. Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it for sure. And I agree. I mean, I think that people do tend to change, but it's funny how regardless of how someone changes, laughing is like truly the best medicine. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel way better after laughing for a long time. I mean, I was just at the gym with a good friend of mine, and I mean, we were just cracking up over just nonsense. The hour we were there working out, and I mean, I felt in a way better mood when I left the gym than I would even after a solid 8 hours of sleep. So it's, no matter how people change or whatever, I think that laughing and comedy is just it's very nurturing to the soul. Some of the stuff that I actually find really, really funny, I probably cannot like like post on the internet just because it's like R-rated or like really messed up. Like nothing like crazy, but just I don't know. Me and my buddy, we send each other memes and like TikToks and like it's stuff that is just so out there that people would probably watch and be like I've shown my friends things that I think are funny and they'll be like, this isn't funny. And it's humor is subjective, right? So that's why I never really pay any mind to people who don't enjoy my
Yeah.
content. You could be the juiciest peach in the world, but there will always be someone out there who doesn't like peaches.
There's
So
always someone who's
yeah,
allergic.
so it doesn't matter. You can't please
Yeah.
everyone. It's literally impossible. But anyway, nonetheless, the stuff I find funny is content that I make, and I specifically search for certain memes or tweets or jokes,
Yeah.
if you will, that I think are actually funny. Like my friends will send me memes sometimes. They'll be like, "Yo, you got to do this for a video," and I'll read it, and it'll be like, "LOL," and like I literally
Exactly this.
I'm like, this is haha, like it's not funny. Like you know what I mean? But there's other memes. I'll literally be on the phone with friends and I'll be scrolling through like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and I'll be like, "Oh, hold on, you got to hear this meme," and I'll read it and I'll laugh exactly like I do in a video, and
Yeah.
it's just so funny because like I remember I was doing that one day, and because this particular day I had a lot of like hate comments on this one of my videos, and I was just kind of getting caught up in them, and I was like, "Huh," all this like fake laughing BS that I read, and then I'm like. I was on the phone with my friend and I was like, I read him this meme that was so funny. And I was like, nah, they can go to hell. Cause like, it's very easy to criticize, but I mean, they don't know me, to them. I'm
Yeah.
just a character on the internet who's always laughing whenever they see them, they don't know that positive vibe is really who I am off the screen.
That's the point. I think you cannot fake a vibe. So you can share the humor. You can say, okay, I like the meme or I don't like them, but it's your vibe, I guess. This is what works.
Yeah.
And
No,
what
haters,
people like.
haters. Yeah, I mean they're yeah, you can't do anything about it. They're gonna be around no matter what. But shout out to haters.
Yeah. Did you ever do a blind reaction meme reading actually?
Yeah, I've done a number of them, but I mean, it's hard to do that because when you're reading them on camera, like before you even read it, like you already read it. You know what I mean? Like the only way to do that would be if someone literally put a meme on my green screen on my phone and like handed it to me and was like, here, read this, you know? And it's like, I'm also kind of blonde. So like I have to like read a meme like a couple times sometimes before I actually get it. You know what I mean? It's like,
yes, I know what you mean.
because sometimes people will be like, oh, well, I think like the biggest criticism that people had when I first started off was like, oh, well, you must have already read these memes before. And it's like, okay, there's comedians that tour the country telling the same joke over and over again.
Yeah.
Like I've heard comedians tell the same joke and I laugh every time. Like it's like a meme or a joke isn't funny one time. It's like I have memes in my phone from 5 years ago that I could pull up right now and just crack up over.
Same. Do you have a favorite?
I think the best one is this girl tweeted and she was like, I no longer get up to investigate strange noises. It's whatever. Basically, she's just like, I don't even care if someone's breaking in. It's whatever. Yes! Like, just totally does not care anymore. It's just like, as someone posted that today, and it's funny. I just got over getting sick, so like, I can't like really laugh. I like lost my voice from being sick for 2 weeks, and it's killed me because I haven't been able to like feel any like laughing content. Yeah.
But that's the crazy part about memes, I guess, because they are not just jokes. They are not just random jokes. You can really relate to them. So whatever people say there, it's so often that I think, oh shit, it happens to me also. And this feeling, for example, that someone's breaking into my house, or when I'm in an airplane and it shakes, and I just know myself, like just putting a pillow above my head, like I don't care anymore.
Yeah. The intrusive thoughts. Eventually, when you're like, I just let it crash.
Exactly. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I also have some favorite memes, and every time I see them, I can't stop laughing, even if they're extremely stupid. Like I think
for sure.
My humor is just too bad sometimes, just super dry and super bad. I have this running tree, and this picture just says, "Run, Forrest, run."
Okay. See, that's like that dad dry humor.
Yes,
stuff like that. Some people crack up over dad jokes, and like, I've heard like a handful of dad jokes that I thought were like actually funny, but it's odd because dad jokes are meant to be clever. So like that dry humor, that's why they call it dry humor, because it's not funny. Not funny. No. No, but I get it. Like I said, humor is subjective. I never hate on someone's humor or music taste or anything like that.
No, whatever makes you feel good, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was there a time in your life when you took yourself seriously?
Not really. I kind of had like a pretty different life than a lot of people did. Like I didn't go to college. I've worked a lot of jobs. I've probably had 30 different jobs. I don't want to say like I've been through a lot. I just haven't lived like a necessarily smooth life. So for me, I've just been reminded time and time again that like in life, what matters the most is like a positive outlook and like how you view things. So for me, that's been my main focus. So rather than walking around with a chip on my shoulder and caring about what people think of me and how I appear to be to other people, I care more about how I feel,
Wow,
so for me, I would much rather walk around with this positive, upbeat, uplifting, hopeful mindset than to walk around thinking I'm better than people, or thinking that, I am like different. I mean, I'll be dead in 30 years. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
wait, how old are you?
Realistically, probably like 50 years, but hopefully 30. No, it's pretty miraculous because I've been on social media for a long time, but to be relevant, I'd like to think I'm still relevant.
Yes.
I might not be, but to be even semi-relevant for 2 years on TikTok is honestly, it's pretty crazy because people come and go. I've seen a lot of creators who were the talk of the app for 3-4 months, and then I never see those people again. Like I just it's not like they didn't, like, some of them stop creating content. Other people, the trend runs its course, and like that's it, and they switch over to other content that maybe isn't as popular or whatever. I mean, to be honest, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get lucky by ending up creating a piece of content that really isn't like a trend. You know what I mean? Like memes have been around and will probably be around for the foreseeable future. So like I still think it's crazy that I even thought of the idea of reacting to memes in a short form like content type of way, because like when I first came up with the idea, I was like on TikTok and I would see these videos of people sitting on their bed, right? It would just be someone like sitting on their bed, and then above them would be like a meme, right?
Yeah.
And the person on the bottom of the screen was just sitting there, right? Like they weren't doing anything. Like or they might be dancing, right? There's music playing in the background and shit. And but I was like, huh. Because I saw a different, I'm not like a genius. I didn't think of reaction videos. I didn't think of split screen short form content or split screen video at all. So, but I remember I was watching. I It's so crazy even thinking of this because I haven't actually thought about it in a while. But I was scrolling TikTok the day I came up with this idea, and I saw a video like that, someone on their bed with a meme above them, and the next video was a guy with a microphone on the bottom of the screen, and above him was just like some text, like he was reading something. And like right then I was like, what if someone just like read memes, because clearly the meme is relatable, right? But the person sitting on the bed with the meme above them, like what, like what even is that? Like you just want to be in the video, like, hey, like pick me type shit. And I'm just like, okay, like it doesn't add anything to the content. So I was like, what if you had like a short, like 4 or 5, maybe 6 memes, and someone just like did like a live reaction to like the funniest memes. And so initially I was going to do it split screen. I was going to be on the bottom and the meme was going to be above me. But then I decided instead to do it on green screen. It just ended up being easier. I didn't really have the setup at the time. So I like the lighting and all that crap. So I was like, you know what, it'll just be easier to do it on green screen. And it's crazy because I filmed 2 videos, one day, and then the 2 days later I filmed a second one, and that second video I filmed was the first video I ever had go viral. So I guess it was a good idea, because the second time I did it, it blew up, and I just was like, wow, and it just kept doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's just luck. Certainly it was the right timing, but I talk to many people who have ideas and who have amazing ideas, but something's holding them back. And I don't know what it is. So it feels like it's just spontaneous. It's just you living from your heart, and you just did it. And then it worked because it was what you wanted to do in that moment without overthinking it. So you didn't even start, obviously, to tell yourself that it wouldn't work or something like that. Do you have a tip for people, probably?
It's hard to give people advice, because I've given dozens of people, creators and just other people, advice on just content creation. And I mean, the biggest piece of advice I could give any of those people is to just not overthink it and just do it, which is really hard advice to accept sometimes because people get in their own way. They'll be like, oh, well, no, it has to be perfect, or this idea isn't that good, or it might be good, but I don't want to put something out unless it's like perfect. And I'll tell people, I'm like, actually, the time to put out content is when it's not perfect because you don't have a following. So if you mess
That's
up,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's like if you mess up or it's not that good, no one saw it, right? It's like now, like when I first started putting out content, I was like growing a following. Like even before I ever went viral, I think I had 100 or I had like 1,000 followers on TikTok, and
Yeah.
I loved putting out content because I could just do whatever the hell I wanted, right? And like it didn't matter. I could do anything. And obviously like it wasn't as satisfying because it didn't get views, but now when I put out content, there's certain parameters that I have to stay within for the most part with like what I put out. You know, my TikTok at one point was just meme videos. That's it, right? It
Yeah.
was just reaction meme videos, but my TikTok now it's all over the board. I mean, it really is facts videos, meme reviews, skits, trends, thirst traps, you know, jump scares, like just different stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, but the best advice to anyone who wants to put out content is to not overthink it, put it out. And I mean, it's hard because like other times people they'll come up with an idea, they'll put it out, the video won't do well, and they'll scrap the idea. They just won't think it's good, right? Because it didn't perform well the first time. If I would have done that, I wouldn't be where I'm at now because I filmed a meme review the first time I thought of the idea and the video didn't do well. But I was
Yeah.
like, no, I gotta try it again. This idea is good. I know it is. And I got lucky and it, you know, took off the second time. But like sometimes it isn't like that. I mean, I still create content where, you know, I'll make a video and I'll think this video is great. You know, it's different, it's cool, it'll do well. And I have a semi decent gauge for what will do well just from, you know, growing on social media, but sometimes it doesn't do well. And even now after doing this and putting out thousands of videos, it's still hard for me to not scrap an idea if it didn't perform well. So it's I think what people don't understand is when they decide that they want to start creating content, that is when that's when it's the most stress free because you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about like you don't have to worry about anything. Like, I mean, what my responsibilities now are so 10 times more
Sure.
responsibilities than I had when I first started. So it's funny because as you get more of a following and establish yourself, that's when things become way more
Complicated.
stressful and
Yeah.
you have to actually, you know, the content you put out matters more because you have millions of people, or in my case, millions of people who you know, they're watching and you got to be careful. Every job becomes a job. You know, when I started, it was way less stressful than it is now. But then you got, you know, brand deals and contracts and legal documents. And
Sure.
yeah,
Oh God, this painful stuff. Yeah.
the whole thing. I love making videos. I love being able to put out content that people enjoy. I mean, that's the biggest blessing. I mean, that keeps me going more than actually creating content and the passion that I have for it because I'm passionate about creating content. It's not like I'm necessarily passionate about one genre of content, if you will. Like I do comedy content in a year or maybe even 6 months, maybe even 6 weeks, I might do different content. You know, I might start a podcast. I might start making music. I might, you know, do whatever I want to do, you know. So it's like the thing about social media is it changes and it evolves and you have to change and evolve as
With
it
it.
does.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
with it. Yeah, but I think it's beautiful because you have so many possibilities as a content creator. So you have your
Yeah.
niche, you have, of course, the passion for creating content per se, so that you are cutting videos, that you are recording it, and so on. So it's not just the topic; it's also the whole process around it. Do you also have a tip for people how to find their niche?
There's not really like a because I actually probably get that question more than anything from people who want to like make content.
Ah,
So I don't know where to start. I don't know what to make, and maybe you're not meant to be a content creator.
creator
You know what I
then.
mean?
Yes.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone's going to be a rapper. Don't force it, right? Like, I have like friends of mine that I really want to start making videos, and it's like when you start creating content, it's like when you're passionate about it, it's something that you want to do. You do it because you want to do it. It's not like, man, I gotta, like the way they talk about it, almost like it's a chore. I gotta do my dishes. I gotta do my homework. Creating content, it shouldn't be a chore. So when people are like, how do I figure out what kind of content to make? It's like, I can't answer that for you. I can't tell you what to make. If it's a close friend of mine, I'll be like, well, you're funny. Have you ever thought about doing comedy? Or, I really like your music. Have you ever thought about putting your music on TikTok? Obviously I can give advice to people case by case, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's really up to the person to decide what they want to put out. And, anything can be a category. I see all types of people. I see, did you say niche or niche? Niche?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I think
Yeah.
that's the correct.
Actually, I was thinking about if I did it wrong.
No, I think niche is correct, but there's so many different niches that I would never have thought people would be interested in that I see on TikTok, right? I see stuff where I'm like, oh, people are into that? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, so that's like the cool thing about TikTok and short form content, but just content creation in the modern age. What's so cool is that there are so many different people that are into so many different things that there might not even be a niche for what you want to put out, and you can create it.
Yes, I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
I sometimes see things and I didn't know they even exist. So you can just invent
Right.
something.
There's this guy on TikTok, all he does is mows people's lawns. Like, he'll go to someone's house and it's like someone's yard is just like a disaster, just like overgrown. And he'll go there and he'll just film him mowing their lawn and trimming their bushes, and then he'll speed it up, and it's honestly like therapeutic. Like, I follow him. But what all this guy did is he didn't search for a niche. He didn't think I got to make content. He just took what he was already doing and turned it into content.
Do you have a favorite channel?
Probably my favorite is this guy on TikTok called Lights Are Off, and it's just like CG horror clips, and it's just, the guy's super talented. But he doesn't upload that often. But Meat Canyon on YouTube is fantastic. He's so good. That's like cartoon, like weird stuff, but it's awesome.
Cool.
So cool. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of creators that I like on social media, like Brody Wellmaker, Bilali, Padilla, just people who I, have met or seen. Anytime like Meat Canyon uploads a new video, like I set aside like a solid, I mean, the video is probably only going to be 3 to 5 minutes long, but I'll set aside like an hour just to like watch it, probably watch it like 5 times, and like just, send it to my friends. They make my day better for sure.
That's really the power of social media, right? That people just spread something, they upload a video, and it has such an impact. I really like your point with not overthinking it. That's so powerful. It's a little bit this fuck it mentality. If you don't have too many followers, or if you are still somebody who is not really known by others, you have literally nothing to lose. And it's not just about content creation. It can be anything. It can be any job that we start. It can be any new path. So nobody knows you. You can always just grab your stuff and run away.
Right. Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think also there's a lot of people that only look at content creation for the glamour, so to say. They look at it as this fantastic life where they don't have a job and they don't have a boss and they can make whatever they want, right? Yeah. They make a bunch of money and get free products or whatever it is that they're thinking. So it's interesting because there's people out there that actually do want to create content and they're passionate about it, or they turn what they're passionate into content. But there's also a lot of people out there who they don't really care about creating content. They just want to do it because it looks easy and it looks fun. When TikTok came about, it wasn't that like much of a stretch for me to start filming videos and do stuff. Like I just right off the bat picked it up and was like, let's start putting out content. But other people, like, they overthink it. But it's one thing to overthink, and it's a whole other thing to push and try to do something that you don't actually want to do. You just want to do it because everyone else is doing it.
I never thought it's an easy thing, to be honest. And I was working in marketing agencies, and also with models, with influencers, because we were shooting commercials. It never felt like that's an easy job. People are always expecting something from you, and you need to perform. That's not easy. And not just because it's not 9 to 5. It's like you don't feel like, but you have to. It can be tough. And when it's about social media, if it's about just content creation, which you do by yourself, so there's no company behind, okay, let's say that's probably a bit easier because you don't have a bunch of people around you who are pushing you the whole time. But you have to deal with criticism. And everyone thinks, what could somebody else think about me? Do I do the right thing? Is everything okay? Do I have enough views? Do I have a like? And everyone can comment anything. And I think, that's really not easy sometimes.
I didn't know what it was like until I was in it. I had an idea in my head of what it would be like with comments and hate and responsibilities and such. And what I thought it would be like compared to what it's actually like, completely different. So, I mean, you worked with influencers, but a lot of people have not worked with influencers. So they have this idea in their head of what it's like to be a content creator. They glamorize the idea of being a content creator. And I feel like that gets in the way of people who are actually passionate about creating content that don't. Like I see people who create content like the lawn mowing guy. That's so cool because he does this for work and thought, you know what? I'm just going to like film myself doing this and then go home and edit it.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And but other people are out there and they're just sitting around being like, well, I really want to make content because like I just want to be an influencer. Like there are so many kids and people who just want to do it because it's like the next it thing, you know what I mean? And it's like for me, I didn't ever want to create content because it was popular. I wanted to create content because I enjoy that form of, to me, content creation is art. So like that's my way of expressing myself. And it's like I said, not everyone's going to be a rapper, and it's okay.
People tell us what could make us happy, fulfill us, and right now it's the idea of probably being an influencer, whatever this word means. I'm not even sure about that.
Right.
So it looks like a goal, but why do people want that? Like, why is this a goal? I don't think that being a creator, for example, can make everyone happy. It's just impossible. I think it's more about what exactly is the topic is that you want to create the content about. So probably you don't need to be a doctor doing a surgery live on cam, right? Because you want to do the surgery, but you probably don't want to be live on cam.
I think some people just are drawn to content creation because they like creating content. I think other people are drawn towards it because they are bored. And then, I think there's people out there who unfortunately are drawn to it because they
think they should be.
It's going to make them rich and popular and famous. And I just think those are like the wrong reason. But that's fine. If that's motivation for someone to, create content, if they end up being passionate about it, more power to them.
Yeah, no, probably it's not even the wrong motivation. I just think it won't be fulfilling. That's the point. So it's always easy to learn because you can just start it. You will realize, okay, it's not my thing. So life's also a try and error process. So you can just also start and see what happens. And I also think if you just do it for a certain reason, for a goal, beyond doing the thing, so you want to become rich, let's say, I think you won't enjoy the process. So because you will always just reach for the goal, and people will feel that. So your audience will feel that, and you won't be happy. But this is something that everyone should find out for themselves. And it's that try and error.
Completely agree.
That's what I like about your stuff, because I really get the vibe of I enjoy that. You're really the creator who makes me laugh a lot.
I love it. No, that's amazing.
Thank you so much. for taking time today.
Yeah, no, of course. No, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and I thank you so much for the compliments. That's honestly so kind, and
Oh,
it's rare that I get to hear it from somebody like face to face, as face to face as this is.
more or
But you
less.
know what I mean? Yeah. I don't usually get to hear it a lot. It's
Okay.
always nice, and I mean I get a lot of comments on my videos that aren't so
Yeah.
nice. I get a lot that are nice, but it's always a nice reminder because I spend a lot of time making content and don't always make time for reading comments and paying attention to how like people feel about it.
I was excited and I thought, oh, okay, but I don't even know how you will react to that kind of stuff with the podcast and this, I would say, philosophical background. No idea. I just dropped that on people and I see what
Oh
happens.
yeah, no, I love it. I'm a very deep thinker and intellectually deep, I guess. Yeah, I love that type of stuff. So yeah.
I mean, that's also your name, Bentellect. So
All right. It's been a pleasure, Anastasia. You have a great weekend, okay?
thank you. You too.
Okay.